That smells so amazing. That crunch, so good. Okay, I'm not eating any more chili. I'm literally gonna die. Crispy, spicy chili oil. Friends, you know me, this is my kind of heaven. We are making our very own version, homemade, and I think more delicious. We're making a version of Laogan Ma's crispy chili oil. Chili crisp, crispy chili oil, however you call it, this is the condiment you need in your life. I can't do without this one, guys. Let's get into having a look at what the store-bought version looks like, because this is like the super popular brand and I really like it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. But let's get in here and see what the anatomy is all about so we can make ours even better. So this one, not just about the chili oil. What we've got in here are lots of little crispy bits of chili. If we have a look at the ingredients here, what have we got? We've got, you know, soybean oil, chili, onion, soybeans, salt, sugar, MSG. You know, this is kind of like a flavor enhancer, not just like a spicy condiment. And if you have a little taste, like, so you get like a really dry, roasted, toasty chili flavor, but a little bit more than that. You kind of get some extra flavor, tiny little bit of sweetness, and then that little bit of like umami from the MSG. So what we want is to create a little concoction that does all of those things, hits you with the spice, gives you a little bit of chili oil for, you know, that little bit of lovely red drizzle, but also gives you some flavor enhancing kind of like powers. All right, so the great thing about making this at home is that you can tailor it to exactly how you like it. I like mine kind of chunky, so we're gonna go chunky here, guys. But first of all, let's talk about chilies. So what you wanna do is head to either your Asian grocery store or, you know, head online and look for Chinese dried chilies. And they should look a little something like this. Typically you find kind of two versions at your Asian supermarket. You find really large, dark Chinese dried chilies, or you find this kind of medium size. I like this size because they have some bite to them, but they're not like super hot bird's eye chilies. Of course you could use the really hot ones if you want, or you could use the really mild larger ones, but you know, I'm going with this kind of medium spicy, medium sized kind of chili. Now what I want to do here is I want to get these chilies to a point where they're kind of chunky, so I don't want chili flakes, but I do want to break them up into little bits. So I'm going to get some into my food processor here. And then just give this a blitz. All right, so this is looking good. We've got kind of like chunky shreds of chili here. And the trick, that is so spicy. The fumes, oh my goodness, the fumes. Okay, try not to breathe in when you open up the blender. My biggest tip. Okay, we've got too many seeds here. Too many seeds are gonna make your finished chili oil crisp, like too bitter, for my liking anyway. So what you wanna do is get yourself a colander, not a really fine sieve, but one, you know, just this kind of medium coarse kind of situation where the seeds will fall through, but most of the chili will stay in the basket. Now you give that a shake. Not too much because I don't want to lose too much of the chili. And you can see a load of seeds have come out. We might still have a little bit of seed left in this basket with the chili, but just a little bit of seed is okay. And just tip that into like a largish kind of bowl. I'm going to go in first of all with some crispy fried shallots. So you can get these from your Asian grocery store as well. Yes, you can make them yourself if you would like to, but you know what? It's just easier. I do actually quite like the flavor of the store-bought ones as well. They kind of have an extra, I don't know, kind of fragrance or something about them. I just really like them. So, and they're extra crispy. So I'm going to put those in. And then I also want some crispy fried garlic, which I'm also using store-bought. I will actually use some fresh garlic a little bit later on to flavor the oil, but I really do like using kind of the mix of the crispy fried and the fresh. Now, I'm also gonna go in here with some spices, and this is where you can really get the edge on the store-bought version, because we're gonna add in like some whole star anise, lovely, and some green cardamom pods as well. Okay, now I want to go in with some fresh ginger here as well. I love that fresh ginger flavor. Next up, some sugar, just a little dash here, just to give us like a balance of the, you know, a little bit of sweet with the really fiery. And then salt, because of course, as I said earlier, we want to make this a flavor enhancer, not just, you know, a spicy condiment. And then in that same vein, of course, we had MSG in the original store-bought version, which, look, controversial or not, you know, MSG is one of those ingredients that is in a lot of things, a lot of street food that I love to eat, in a lot of sauces that I love to eat, but I just prefer when I'm at home cooking not to use it in my actual cooking. So come at me in the comments if you like. I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything really. I'm just saying I prefer not to use it when I don't have to at home. But I still want that kind of like umami kick. So I'm gonna go in, instead of the MSG, with some chicken stock cubes. It's my little secret hack here. And that's gonna give us some extra flavor power as well. And in case anyone is asking, my chicken stock cubes don't include MSG, they're all natural stock cubes. But you know, each to their own, guys. If you'd like to put MSG in, please feel free and do that too. Now, we have our beautiful starter mix here of crispy, spicy, spiced, you know, salty, umami things. What we want to do now is flavor up our oil. So I've got some fresh garlic slices here and some vegetable oil. You could use peanut oil here as well. Just like a neutral flavored oil is best. I wouldn't use olive oil just because my preference is not to have that olive flavor in Asian kind of condiments, but feel free to use olive oil if you would like to. The key thing here though is that you really need to watch the garlic, because it will burn and then it will become bitter and it will ruin everything. So start it cold in the pan like I've done here, turn the heat on, and then just wait patiently for the oil and the heat to do its thing. Okay, so I'm starting to see some bubbles here, just some nice sort of like civilized bubbles. And once that starts happening, you really want to keep an eye on this and just get your spoon in there and just give everything a stir every now and then. Okay, so once we've got a lot of like furious foamy bubbles, what you're waiting for is for that garlic to just start to color. So here's the trick, guys. The garlic will continue to cook even after we turn the heat off. So I want to turn the heat off just before it's ready. I want the garlic to be just tinged golden when we take that heat off. Okay, so that's the kind of color that you're looking for. It's really not quite ready yet, but turn the heat off and then just let that sit for a few minutes, and then you'll see we'll get a really nice kind of just light golden color. Okay, so this is exactly what we're looking for. The oil now will have taken on some of that lovely garlicky flavor. In fact, I can smell that lovely garlic fragrance. And this is the thing also with the homemade version. So if garlic is not your thing, then kind of reduce the amount of garlic. You could leave the dried garlic out, which has a more intense flavor. So you can totally, you know, make your own adventure here. But I'm gonna get this oil on top of my other crispy bits before it cools down too much. And now just give that a really good mix. Wow, I wish you guys could smell this right now. You know, apart from the chili fumes, which are like literally killing me. No, it's fine, they're really not. But I can also smell like the ginger, the spices, the garlic, you know, those savory shallots, everything. So amazing. And look at that color. Like, I mean, it's just so exciting. I do get excited about spicy things, you guys know that. Okay, so what I like to do with this is get it out into some jars. And I have to say, I think that this is better when it's kept just for a couple of days, so that all the flavors kind of infuse into the oil and the oil sort of turns a really bright red. So at the moment it is still delicious, but will be even better in a couple of days. And you want to keep it for up to 2 months. You know, I keep it in the fridge just because there's, you know, garlic and ginger in there, which is fresh, but I find it doesn't last 2 months in my fridge. So I don't really have a problem with the longevity of the condiment. I like to leave my whole spices in here, so you know, the star anise or and the cardamom pods. Just be careful when you're going to serve it that you don't obviously crunch into one of those, but I like to leave them there because they keep infusing the oil as they sit. So there you go, friends, our very own homemade version of chili crisp chili crisp oil, whatever you want to call it. So if you have a look here, we've got the store-bought version, which, you know, is still amazing. It's a condiment that I love to have, and I still love it. But here's our version with all like the big chunky crispy bits, and I have to say I do prefer, when I have the time to make this, to be putting this on instead. But let's go in and have a taste here. That smells so amazing. That crunch, so good. I mean, it's fiery. It's hot, but you're not just getting heat, you're getting this beautiful fragrance with the spices and the garlic, and then just that really big hit of like salty umami flavor from particularly the chicken stock and the salt. This one is like so killer, guys. This is not just like, you know, like heat killer, but like flavor killer. Love it. If I survive this video from eating so much chili and the chili fumes, I will be making more videos about how to use your chili crisp. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and there will be more chili crisp heaven coming your way.